Hey, this is the C&D channel. I'm Chris, and this is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my post-fight analysis for Bellator 42, which happened last April 23rd. But before we get into that, I'd like to thank our sponsors, GoBusiness123.com, DeMarca Sunglasses Boutique in Laguna Beach. Please support your local mom and pop shops, and DeMarcaUSA.com. So yeah, let's get right to it. The first fight of the night, we saw Luis Alberto Nogueira beat Jared Spoon by unanimous decision. He looks really good. Luis Nogueira looks really good. A real solid bantamweight. His striking is crisp and his wrestling is really good. Didn't get to see too much of his ground game, as Spoon was a pretty good wrestler, but he's definitely someone I'm going to look out for. Like Jimmy Smith said, Nogueira is really good at throwing combinations. He doesn't just throw once, he throws a lot of combinations. His wrestling side, his takedown defense is really good too. There's one time when Spoon tried to get a takedown pretty much halfway through the cage, and he actually defended the takedown. Nogueira's definitely going to be someone to watch out for in this bantamweight division, and wouldn't surprise me, but I'm sure he's going to be in the next Bellator bantamweight tournament. Yep. Next fight after that, we saw Christian Mpumbu beating Tim Carpenter by TKO in the first round. Mpumbu, they're saying the weird thing is, everyone was saying that he's like a small light heavyweight, and I guess he is by some standards, but he didn't look that small. He didn't look like a blown up middleweight to me. You know what I mean? And who knows how much not cutting weight really helped him. His striking looked pretty good. He moves well for his size. Carpenter is a little flat, but Mpumbu moves a little more. Nice combination at the end. He got a right cross and then that uppercut to drop Carpenter. Some people said early stoppage. I thought it was fine. Yeah, it's a little early, but it's not one of those where it's like a robbery type of stoppage. It's like, okay, fighter safety. Okay, I can get behind that. So Mpumbu is going to go up against Richard Hale, and I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go with Mpumbu to win the whole thing. Okay. Next fight of the night, we saw Ronnie Man fight Josh Rocha. In my predictions, I said Ronnie Man is someone to look out for, and this fight proved it. Man, his ground and pound was nasty. This guy, man, Ronnie Man, he had some great ground and pound. I mean, he was using both arms. He'd attack the body, then the head. I mean, he was doing combos from the guard, on top. And they weren't just pitter-patter punches to stay busy. I mean, these were pretty heavy shots. I mean, he's cocking and everything. He looked really good. He swept from the bottom that one time in the first round when he was on the bottom. And the stand-up looks really crisp, too. Before the fight, I was actually telling my buddy, just wrestle, he's a Brit. So, the common stereotype with British MMA fighters is that they can't wrestle. So I'm like, okay, just wrestle with this guy, wrestle the Brit, The funny thing is, Rocha did wrestle the Brit, and he got swept. So, I mean, this is definitely a different type of Brit. Definitely on the ground, where stereotypical Brit is they have crisp stand up at the ground, and especially the wrestling was lacking. Ronnie Man, though, he looks like he's kind of looking like a guy that's going to break the stereotypes. Yeah. And after that, we had a real quick fight of Jared Hess beating Chris Bell by triangle choke in the first round. Good win for Hess. Hopefully he'll be back in the middleweight tournament. He lost to Shlemenko when he got that dislocated knee. That was one of the nastiest things I've seen in MMA. Good win for him. I always liked the guy. Really push forward type of guy. If he can work on connecting his strikes to his wrestling a little more, I always felt that his takedowns do get a little telegraphed, because he's one of those wrestlers where you kind of know he's going to wrestle. you know. But otherwise, you know, good win for him. You know, Triangle choke off his back, you know, to come back from such an injury. So good for him. Okay, and finally, main card fight of the night, or televised fight of the night, saw Richard Hale beat DJ Linderman by split decision. It's kind of sloppy. It's a fun fight, but kind of sloppy. This is kind of actually why I think Mpumu's going to win. Richard Hale, I mean, he has a really cool inverted triangle, which is like the second one in Bellator. Linderman, he hits hard, but once again, these are like, if it weren't Bellator, these two would be like lower level, you know, just not the greatest light heavyweights, you know. I'd say like more like lower level type. If they were in like Strikeforce or the UFC. And there's really not much I can say. It's just kind of not exactly the most technically savvy fight. It's just kind of sloppy at times. And Mpumu, a guy who moves a lot, you know, who can grind on the feet and has submission ability. I just think he'll take this. He'll beat Richard Hale. I don't know about TK. I think he'll grind him. Richard Hale seems pretty, you know, he's got some good resilience with him, for sure. So, but I think Mpumu's going to win the whole thing when they eventually go up against each other. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for my Bellator 42 post-fight thoughts and analysis. If you have any comments, just leave them on the bottom. Please like this page or subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that's pretty much for MMA for you. I'll talk to you guys later, and make sure to check out the UFC GSP versus Shields post-fight analysis. That's going to come either Saturday or Sunday. Okay, thanks.